Hey there, Susan C. here, and today I just want to share with you a conversation that I recently had with my daughters, and it's an opportunity that I was able to give them a life principle, and I want to share it with you because it might be something that would be helpful in your household. So, my youngest daughter came to the table, the breakfast table this morning, and she was letting me know that when she was out in the garage yesterday going through the fridge, she discovered that there was a lot of water in the garage and in the fridge, and it was running out. And so immediately I'm like, there was water in the fridge. Okay. And so what's going on with that? So I said, what did you do? She said, oh, so I told my sister. So this is the 7-year-old telling the 9-year-old. I go, okay, great. Okay. And then what did she do? And she said, oh, so she and I just stood there and we didn't know. So we told the next sister, who would be the 11-year-old. And I said, very nice. Okay, so the three of you did what? And I'm kind of waiting like, and then what? And she goes, yeah, we couldn't figure out what to do. So we shut the door, turned out the light, and came on in the house. And I went, okay. And I said, so wasn't I at home during all of this? And she was like, yes. And wasn't your father at home during all this? And she was like, yeah, you guys were right there. I said, and did you tell either of us about water being in the fridge? And she was like, no, I told sister. And then I was like, yeah, And she goes, and she told sister. I'm like, yeah, Here's the thing. So I just stopped her there. I was like, here's the thing. I said, if you encounter a problem, and here's the principle. If you encounter a problem, you tell someone who can do something about it. See, she told her sister because she and her sister are good friends and they're close in age. And so she went to someone that she knows well, that she loves and trusts. I get that. But she also told someone who could do nothing about it. And that's the part where this falls down. And so I just encouraged her, and we went through a whole thing where I kept asking her who was someone who could do something about it. Notice I didn't say you go tell mom and dad, because that's not always the best answer. Because sometimes mom and dad aren't the best answer, not because they don't know, but sometimes siblings can be more helpful, or they have understanding, or they could just do it quicker. Whereas I might be busy and I say, okay, give me a minute, I'll go do it. Sister or brother could step in and make it happen much quicker. So it's someone who could do something about it, who is the appropriate person to do something about it. And so I'm teaching her and training her to use critical thought in those times when she needs help. And I used the example from her with water in the fridge all the way up to her sister who's in college, who happened to walk in the kitchen during this conversation. And I said, have you ever had a need when you were on campus and you went to someone to get help and they weren't helpful? And she just kind of let out a deep sigh like, ugh, do I ever? Like I could think of several scenarios. And I said, and what do you do? And she said, well, sometimes I'll ask a classmate and they don't know. So then I'll ask the TA, which would be the teacher's assistant, or the IA, instructor's assistant. And they can't always answer the question either. And I go, perfect. So then what do? Do you just go, oh, well, I asked someone and no one could help me? And she was like, well, no, you got to figure out the answer. So either I go research it, look it up online, or I go to the professor, or I just keep going until I find someone who can help me. And I was like, that's exactly it. Thank you for being a great teacher in the moment. And then I turned back to the younger sisters and I said, see, this that I'm teaching you today, which was about water in the fridge, is really bigger than the water in the fridge. It's just about learning how to keep going and asking for help until you get someone who can actually assist you. And as I'm preparing to raise them to be women who are God after God's own heart and who are powerful and strong, I want to equip them with this is how you get things done in your life. When you have a challenge, when you have a problem, not if, because you will have challenges and problems in this life, what do you do to get those resolved? You keep going and asking for help until you find someone who can help you. And that became like one of our lessons for today, of many lessons we have in the day. But I wanted to share that with you because you may be dealing with children who are having a problem, and maybe they tell one person and that person doesn't know, and so they just drop it. I see this sometimes when I go into stores and I'm trying to get some assistance at the customer service desk, and the customer service person who's standing there just simply doesn't have an answer to my question. So they say, oh, well, I don't know. And so they look for me and expect for me to walk away. And I'm like, perfect. How about if we get someone who does know? Like, do one of your coworkers know, or should we go for your manager, or should we go for the store manager? Should we go to the regional manager? Like, I'm just looking for someone who can offer assistance here because I have a legitimate question or need as your customer, and I'm looking for you to meet it. But I recognize that not everybody is doing the equipping at home that I want to do to prepare my children for this future life. So I shared this principle with you so that you can link arms with me, and that we can begin to prepare a generation that knows how to handle challenges, and they don't just feel like, well, I tried one thing and that didn't work, so I stopped. But instead, they keep going until they reach a solution or a resolution that's worthy of that particular challenge, right? And they don't just drop it, and they don't just say, oh, well, I tried. But instead, they're actual problem solvers. And this is a way that you can equip your children to be a problem solver. That they have a challenge, they don't know how to meet it, they don't stop until they find someone who can assist them and help them to come to a reasonable conclusion. I hope this was helpful for you. This is just a glimpse into our world and what it's like around our household. And until next time, bye for now.